Hello YouTube. Sherkala is a large mountain range of unusual shape, formed because of the upflip of the seabed in the valleys of the foothills of Aktau in Kazakhstan. The mountain is formed of clay, limestone, sandstone, and chalky rocks. Sherkala is a majestic natural landmark with a distinctive cone-shaped peak that has captivated locals and visitors for centuries, maybe longer than that. Its name, which means Lion's Fortress, or Fortress of Lions, perfectly captures its appearance, resembling a colossal lion crouching amidst the vast desert landscape. But there are other hypotheses as to the name, and I'll get to them. Mount Sherkala has also been described as looking like a piala, a small bowl, or a yurt, Kazakh national round dwelling. Because from the angles, the mountain looks like a yurt or an inverted bowl. About this strange mountain, Sherkala once stood on the Great Silk Road, which was a connecting thread between East and West. According to historical documents, caravans from Baghdad going to the city of Bulgar on the Kama River stopped there. Over time, this site lost its former importance as the sea route opened by Vasco da Gama began to develop. And then Shah, or King, Aziz built the city of Kizilkala, which existed before the arrival of the Mongols. According to historians, a fortress city once stood near it. At the foot of the mountain, there are remains of the walls of an ancient caravanserai. On the slopes, there are niches for the guards, traces of rope ladders, the remains of a secret passage that led to the top of the mountain. The ruins are traces of an ancient burial. During archaeological excavations, coins and military equipment were found in the settlement, which confirms the numerous sieges of the city. The mountain was praised by poets. Mangistau artists still come there today to convey the scenic beauty of the area in their creations. The beautiful Sherkala can be seen, for example, in the drawings of Taras Shevchenko. He was a Ukrainian artist and poet who was in exile in Mangishlak in the times of Imperial Russia. One of the famous Polish revolutionaries, Zaleski, compared the beauty of the mountain with the Roman pantheons and painted a painting called The Life of the Kazakh Steppes, which was published in his album in 1865 in Paris and in 1989 in Almaty in Kazakh. The absolute height of the mountain is 322 meters. There are steep cliffs around the circumference of the mountain, and a domed ridge is located at the top. The mountain consists, like I said, of clay, Cretaceous rocks, limestones, and sandstones. The northern part is destroyed by wind and water. The southern and eastern parts are steep. Their upper part is blurred. Now, about the legends of its origin. According to one hypothesis, the top of the mountain is artificial. An alien ship supposedly landed there in prehistoric times, and the inhabitants of distant planets left their spacecraft at the bottom of the ancient Tethys Sea. Over time, the sea dried up, and the ship was under a thick layer of petrified mud. By the way, according to paranormal researchers, there's a cave in Mountain Sherkala that leads directly to this spaceship. According to another legend, there was a group of brave warriors who defended the mountain from the enemies. They fought the enemy like lions. The rest of the guards hid in the underground passages inside the mountain and stayed there forever. Thanks to such bravery, Sherkala got its name, which can be translated, like I said, as the Fortress of Lion. Another legend says that a major war took place between the Turkmen and the Nogai. The Turkmens, defeated by the enemy and forced to retreat, they found refuge in Sherkala. The enemies lived there without food and water, and the Nogai enemy thought that they would go down anyway. However, no matter how much time passed, the Turkmens did not come down. The surprised Nogai sent a spy to the top of the mountain to find out the reason. It turned out that the Turkmens had dug a well in the hill and were drawing water from it. Upon learning about this situation, the Nogai dug a deep cave in the mountain, found a well, and cut the rope. In the end, the Turkmens, deprived of water, died in agony. Since then, this mountain has been called Sherkala. There are plenty of natural attractions in the vicinity of Sherkala. At the foot of the mountains, you can see a large number of round boulders. Some of the boulders have cracked, and fossils of shells and prehistoric fish can be seen inside. This area is called the Valley of the Spheres, or the Balls, or Globular balls or spheres. Let me describe it in detail a little later. Not far from the foot, there is an ancient cemetery where petroglyphs of different eras are found on tombstones. The ancient settlement of Kizilkala, an important archaeological site, is located like 2 kilometers away. Another unusual place is the green oasis of Akmish, a few kilometers from the mountain. If you decide to visit there, the walk around the area takes about 3 hours. Equipment is needed to climb the mountain. There are also many caves in the mountain that cannot be bypassed in one day, and some you cannot enter at all. It is worth bearing in mind that caves are very dangerous. People once lived inside, so you can find ancient coins, skulls, and household items. Who knows what else you can find there? Better be very careful. It is quite difficult to climb up and down the mountain. Look, ascending the mountain Sherkala requires a moderate level of stamina and hiking experience. The terrain can be very challenging. The journey to the top is rewarded, as people say, with breathtaking panoramic views of the surrounding plains and desert, creating a sense of being on top of the world. And again, there are a lot of spherical stones scattered around. Local tales tell of hidden treasures concealed within the mountain's mysterious caves and tunnels. Well, intriguing adventurers eager to uncover the secrets hidden within its rugged beauty. Who knows what happens to those adventurers and whose skulls are found inside the caves? Behind each bend, behind a new turn, an amazing view opens up. Actually unusual that sometimes it seems that you have landed on an uninhabited planet. There was a well in one of those caves. The locals drank its delicious water, hiding from the enemies who were besieging them on the top of the mountain. Well, we know what happened to them. Well, today the well is filled in, a scattering of circumferential boulders of various size, cracked under the influence of the wind. This is what you can find around there. Not far from Sherkala, on the way up, there is a green oasis, and the step at the foot of the mountain is green and blooming. The spring is also called Akmish. I believe there's a small river as well, for those who prefer a less demanding experience. The base of Mountain Sherkala offers tranquil spaces for relaxation and contemplation. There is a belief that the mountain will fulfill your desire if you go around it. Nobody knows if it's true. The truth is, according to those who have been there, is that the indescribable, unique energy of the mountain Sherkala fascinates people who visit there. The mountain displays a mesmerizing array of colors, ranging from golden hues to vibrant reds and oranges. These vivid colors change with the shifting sunlight, creating a visual spectacle. Sherkala is constantly undergoing changes, especially strongly influenced by spring floods, which caused the mountain to collapse. So who knows what will be discovered there next? Maybe a long ago buried extraterrestrial spaceship. So how to get there? The mountain is located, according to at least some accounts, because I've seen different numbers. Anyway, 170 kilometers from Aktau, from the city of Aktau. And I'll talk about this city a little bit later. The nearest settlement is Shetpe, 18 kilometers southeast of the mountain. It is better to get there by SUV since the road is unpaved. It will be necessary to move along the Astrakhan-Aterau-Aktau highway. You can also get to Shetpe by train and then hire a cab, anyway, with a driver. Torish, or the Valley of Globular Stones, the Valley of Spheres, the Valley of Balls, call it whatever you want. In English, it's the translation. It's one of many geological wonders of the Mangistau region. The enormous round boulders scattered across the desert make for a visually spectacular sight. Some stones are perfectly spherical, some stand on top of the others, and some are broken in half. The stones vary from several centimeters to 4 meters. I think that would be like 13 feet in diameter. A ball-like concretions as large as those in Tarish are found only in a few places on Earth, and I've talked about them in my other videos and will continue to do so. It's a fascinating subject to me. Scientists are still divided on the origin of these boulders. There are several hypotheses, however, each has its flaws and doesn't seem to fully explain the phenomenon. According to geologist and geophysicist Gennady Tarasenko, the origin of these stones is associated with electric charges in the zones of active tectonic faults. These electric charges caused matter to form round objects. Other researchers assume that the stones, or boulders, were formed in the ancient Tethys Sea, which was previously located in this area. The water dried out, leaving these bizarre boulders on the surface. People who had lived in Mangistau centuries ago tried to explain the origin of these mysterious stones in legends and myths. Legend has it that the stone formations in Torish are enemies who once tried to invade these lands. So behind the scenes of the history of the appearance of bizarre spherical boulders in the Mangistau region, there is a legendary narrative about hordes of enemies who turned into large round stones. The locals prayed for help and protection, and their prayers were answered. A stroke of lightning turned the enemies into stone in an instant. Scientists still do not agree on the origin of the long-standing mystery of Mangistau, continuing to build many scientific hypotheses. Despite the rounded contour or outline, some are split in half. Each stone is a unique and has its own special shape, creating a magnificent landscape. So how to get there? Well, let me give you some details. The Torish Valley is located northeast of the city of Aktau and northwest of the village of Shetpe. The valley is very remote, so be sure to stock up on food and drinking water before heading out into the desert. If you plan to camp, make sure to set up your tent between the hills. That will hide you from the wind. Some more suggestions based on the experience of people who have been there. How to get there? There are several options. So if your journey starts from Aktau city, you need to move along the highway towards Buzachi Peninsula. The first option, at the 95th kilometer, in front of you there will be a fork in the road. To the left, the graveled road goes to Sartash, and to the right, through the thread of the oil pipeline, the road will take you just to Torish. After leaving the highway to the right, it is necessary to move strictly east along the road. You have to cover about 10 kilometers. Then you can go down through Torish and go along Takir to the village of Shair. Then to Aktau and, for example, to the famous mountain Sherkala. But one thing, this road is good in dry weather, but after the rain, it is better not to turn there. So what should you do? Do not retreat if you're already very close, but be careful. Then the second option is this. Drive along the same highway to Buzachi for a few more kilometers and turn right at the 100th kilometer mark. This road may be less picturesque, but it is safer in wet weather. In the same way, turn right, drive past Koshara, animals holding enclosure, and from afar you will see a rolling road going uphill. Get out on it and move straight. You can't make a mistake there. You will hit a hillock where the globular boulders are scattered. Choose the most visually rugged road, and moving along it, you will reach the site where many travelers usually leave their vehicles. There are many interesting spherical spheres in the immediate vicinity of this site. One ball stands on top of another, and a couple of balls reach a diameter up to 4 meters. And there are also some that are broken in half. From this ridge, you can also go down to Takir and go towards the village of Shair, to which you will have to travel about 25 kilometers along this steppe or plains roads. Then the asphalt begins. Another 35 kilometers, and you will reach the village of Sherpe. This information will be useful for those who continue their journey through the Mangistau region. If your goal was to visit the Torish tract, it's easier to return to Aktau the same way as you arrived there. Meals and overnight accommodations. Well, since the Valley of Spheres is located in relative proximity to Aktau, a trip there can be like a weekend tour with a return to the city for an overnight stay. If Torish is but one of several points of your travel, then you can stay overnight, I was told, in the Koges ethnic village, which is located 50 kilometers from the Valley of Spheres on the road towards the village of Sherpe. In any case, it is necessary to have a supply of food and water with you, and it is better to travel in a well-prepared, well-cared-for SUV. The Koges ethnic village is located in the heart of the stunning nature of the Mangistau region. Apparently, since 2017, visitors can come there. They have yurts where you can stay. The yurt camping has been steadily developing in Kazakhstan in recent years. As for other paranormal phenomena of the Mangistau region, please see the playlist of my videos about Central Asia. Look in the description to this video, please. Aktau is a city in southwest Kazakhstan, located on the eastern shore of the Caspian Sea. I've told you a lot about the Caspian Sea too, and the strange human-like creatures who inhabit it and are seen from time to time. The name Aktau means white mountain in the Kazakh language, which may be due to its cliffs that overlook the Caspian, very picturesque. From 1964 to 1991, the city was known as Shevchenko. The UFO case involving that city, to an extent, was described in my books too, and it was investigated by the famous Soviet UFO and USO research program. You will find it. I want to thank you for your attention to my work, and if you can support my research, please do so you will see the links in the description to this video. Please subscribe to my channel and like my videos.